Daily Message, September 1st, 2024. Have you ever read the Bible cover to cover, or do you limit your reading to the New Testament, that is, skipping the first 59% of the Bible? Like walking in on a movie 59% over, or starting a book at chapter 40 of 66 chapters, thereby not knowing the significance of the characters, not knowing the plot or the context that facilitates understanding the book or movie. If you do not like to start 60% of the way through a book or a movie or even a very important conversation, then why ignore the Old Testament and limit your Bible reading to the New Testament? For the Bible is like a book with 66 chapters, of which 39 chapters are in the Old Testament and 27 are in the New Testament. The Old Testament is the context in which the New Testament lies. The Old Testament documents the history of the world and Israel, God's law, and God's relationship with humanity, as well as God's prophecies of a coming Messiah. The New Testament documents the fulfillment of the Old Testament prophecies of how the world would be saved through the Messiah, that Messiah being Jesus. The New Testament also contains prophecies with respect to Jesus' second coming and the end of times. Matthew's main purpose in writing the Gospel according to Matthew was to prove to his Jewish readers that Jesus is their Messiah. He quotes the Old Testament often. Luke provides the genealogy of Jesus all the way back to Adam in Luke 3, verses 23 to 38. John begins with words comparable to Genesis 1, verse 1. Jesus repeatedly quoted the Old Testament or referred to the Old Testament, such as in Matthew 5, verse 17, when he said, "Do not think that I came to abolish the law or the prophets. I did not come to abolish, but to fulfill." In 1 Corinthians 15, verse 45, Paul wrote, "The first man, Adam, became a living soul. The last Adam became a life-giving spirit." Starting 60% of the way through the Bible, one would end up having to ask, who's Adam? And how would one begin to understand the historical animosity toward Israel in the Middle East without reading the Old Testament? May you be richly blessed by reading and reflecting on the Bible cover to cover. With love to all, Pastor Cheryl.